But do you believe in God? Are you
Yeah.
spiritual?
Very.
Tell me what you believe in.
So my mom's a Catholic, Roman Catholic.
Hmm.
My dad's a Hindu. He's a typical Kurgi Hindu.
Yeah.
So grew up in a home where I was trying to please mom and dad. So I believed in both.
Yeah.
And I always felt that there was a connection with God. I had my first God experience when I was about 8 years old. I had a run-in with a very close friend of mine who was my neighbor. And I ran into him and I cut my tongue.
Okay.
I never told the story in public before.
Okay.
So it's my first time. Okay. So I cut my tongue and nobody knew about it. It was a day in early 1990s. There's no electricity on a Sunday. Much like there were power cuts. There was like a 3-hour power cut that day. And so I ran into him and then we were both, like, I was bleeding. He wasn't bleeding, but he got hurt in his head. And then we came back and there was no electricity. So we all had torches. And then, so his mom asked me to show him my lips, show him my lips. And I showed her. And she's like, it's not cut. Open your mouth. I opened my mouth and my tongue was hanging on this side by the last skin.
Okay.
And we like, mom panicked. Dad wasn't at home. So no mobiles back in the 1990s, early 1990s. So get hold of him somehow. Went to this place in Makery Circle called Ganesh Nursing Home.
Okay.
And doctor wasn't there. So it was a Sunday. So the assistant was there. Only a couple of compounders and a nurse was there. So like, oh, we have to stitch it up. So they tried to inject me to stitch it up, and I kicked everybody away. I was 8 years old. I don't know where I got the strength from. My mom was holding my leg. My dad was holding the other leg. Compounders holding my shoulders, and one of them holding my hand and trying to inject me. And I just kicked everyone. Like 2 or 3 times that happened. So then the doctor said, you know what? Take him home today. Come tomorrow because the main doctor will be there. There'll be a few more compounders and nurses to help.
Good God.
So they took me back home. And so I had a bed. So my bed, my sister and I shared a room in our apartments. So my sister's bed was like that, my bed was like this, and this is the entrance of the room. And the altar of the house, which had all the gods, right? Our mandir had, all the Hindu gods, and he had the Holy Family, and he had infant Jesus, and he had the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and he had those pictures. Then we had a nice light, and so I would sleep right under that. So mom said to me, you know what? Why don't you pray to Mother Mary and Jesus? They listen to children's prayers. I said, okay. So I knew the Our Father because I would go to school and I would just say it because we would say it in the assembly. So I said the Our Father. And for the first time in my life, I made a prayer for myself. So I said, God, if you can please just make this better because it's hurting a lot or whatever. I went to sleep. Next day morning at 7, mom wakes me up. She's like, come here, open your mouth, show me. So I opened my mouth and she's screaming. I'm like, did I swallow my own tongue and what has happened? And she was ecstatic and she's screaming. My tongue had joined back, like nothing had even happened the last night. It was just a little scar. And it just joined back. Went to the doctor and like, he seems fine.
Yeah.
And no, he doesn't need any stitches. Everything's fine. Like maybe because of the tongue, because there's a lot of saliva, maybe it healed very quickly. But in less than 12 hours, I don't know how. But it anyway, healed. And he said, just to be on the safer side, let him have ice creams for the next 3 days. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a prayer answered it.
So that was my first experience. So I always had a connection with Yeshua. And then I became deeply religious with my dad. My dad was a very religious man. So I went with him to Sabrimala a couple of times. Once as a kid, once as a 14-year-old, I went with him. We used to go to Tirupati and Velangani and everywhere. Dad became super religious. And Dad had a guru that I would also follow. And then we had, like, the guru would ask me to chant a bunch of mantras, which I would. Whilst I would also read the Bible, not comprehending it whatsoever because I didn't know how to interpret the Bible. I would just read it because I'm trying to please God there. And I'd read this and do my mantras because I want to please God. Yes, I went to play the Under-19 World Cup in 2003. This is my second God experience. I've never really publicly spoken about this, so I don't know why I'm doing this now. So, in the Under-19 World Cup, I would pray, I would read the Bible, I would have to chant mantras, and some mantras 8 times, some 12, some 16, some 58 times, so 51 times, some 108 times, different mantras. And because of things at home and how I had to earn everything that was given to us, in the sense I had to earn the love and the affection from home. When it came to God, it became that much more a task to please God, to get performances, or to became superstitious. It wasn't even religious. I became superstitious. So if I lost my count of the mantras,
You start again.
I'd start again. So I went through the entire World Cup where I didn't have one night of restful sleep. And then at the end of the World Cup, we lost in the semi-finals to Pakistan. And then I came back to the room and I sat up the foot of my bed. My roommate had fallen asleep. I sat at the foot of my bed and I said, God, I can't do this. I said, I cannot pray to so many gods at the same time. Whoever you are, show yourself to. I'm going to close my eyes for 5 minutes. Whoever you are, show yourself to me. I will follow you for the rest of my life. You have my word. And I closed my eyes. I have a picture I will show you perhaps after the podcast of Yeshua. And he's looking at me and he's smiling. And I'm like, there, my eyes closed, I'm smiling back at him. And 5 minutes later, my roommate's like, bro, get up. Like, get up. It's time for dinner. And we had like a specific time for dinner at the hotel you're staying at. So like, what are you talking about? It's just 5:30. He's like, dude, you're sitting like that for 2.5 hours. It's 8 o'clock. 8 to 9 is dinner. Let's go. So I was sitting there. What I thought was for 5 minutes was 2.5 hours just staring at his face and smiling and just being grateful. And since then, I've been on a journey where I've been taken to different churches, different faiths within the Christian faith. I've been taken beyond Christianity. I've been able to seek Yeshua outside of the Bible, been able to find him. I've been able to find where he was during the missing years. And I've genuinely pursued this knowledge, and I've studied the agnostic Bibles. I've studied a lot of it, the history of the Roman Catholic Church and the truth. And today I can say that I share a relationship with Yeshua. But Yeshua's taken me, and I don't call him Jesus for a reason. His name was Yeshua. For me, he'll always be Yeshua. So he's taken me to different faiths and he's shown me, and I've gone back to my Hindu faith. And today I'm able to leverage my father's side and learn about Hinduism and the way of Hinduism. It's not a religion, it's a way of life, it's a philosophy. Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma. What does Sanatan Dharma actually mean? I'm actually reading a book where I just read it. It means righteousness forever. So it's a way of life. It's not a religion. And I can go, he takes me across to every little faith. And today I live in a place where I have immense respect for every religion, every faith. And I just believe that different masters came at different times to teach people the same things in different ways for different diasporas in a way that they will understand it. At the base of it, the message is the same. Kindness, love for others, acceptance. That's it. And for me, I navigate through life in a way where we have a mandir at home where we have all the gods. Everyone's there. They all coexist. And I believe that religion and faith shouldn't be imposed on children. I think it should, as in today, I have the conviction that I have in my relationship with God simply because I asked for an experience and I had it. And I believe that's a better way to be convicted than to be a Sunday Christian or a weekly Hindu.
Right.
Ask for an experience and you will have it. If you're open to it, you will experience it. And it's the most beautiful experiences. And I think today I was able to survive a lot of the things that I've survived, and I'm here where I am today because of the role that, God's played in my life. And I used to be at one point a Bible bashing Christian and was thrusted in people's faces, so much so to their, to a lot of my close friends at that point, I loved them to bits. A lot of my friends who had their own religions, I would stick it in their face. It's not the way. People should experience God and the gods that they experience for their reasons and for their walk or for this incarnation of their lives, of their journeys through, back to God. And I today consider myself a deeply spiritual person who has immense respect for all the religions, and I try to learn from every religion that there is.